everyone. This is Gail, and welcome to my channel tonight. Oh, hey, Valerie Reese. It's all about the adventure is in. Hi, Valerie. How are you? I hope you're going well. Y'all, I just want to say one of the things I want to do tonight is give you an update on how things are going here. And I want to give a huge shout out to Valerie for coming and helping me with cookies and toys and tons of other stuff. So, big hand of applause to Valerie for getting that done. Thank you so much. It really meant a lot. So, I'm Gail, and welcome to my live stream tonight. If you were the first time here, welcome. I want you to go ahead and click subscribe and make sure you give me a like on the live stream when you get to that point. And thank you to everybody for coming back. Wow. Okay, so deep breath. All right, so much has been happening, like I hardly even know where to start. 3 months ago, like today, 3 months ago, Hurricane Helene came in and she just absolutely ransacked Johnson County, Tennessee, which is where I am. So everybody had problems. You know, I was without electricity for 2 weeks. Water was without for almost that length of time. Had tons of trees down. Like I can't even, at one time, like every road in our county had trees down. We have 3 ways in and out, 3 main ways, and all of them were blocked. So it meant bringing in supplies by Chinook and Black Hawk helicopter. So that's where we were 3 months ago today. And everybody tonight, right now, is watching the weather because here we are 3 months to the day, and they are predicting rain and storms. And guess what? Hurricane wind gusts. So we're looking at wind gusts of up to 80 miles an hour tonight, which is part of the problem that we had with Helene. We had already saturated ground where it had already been raining. And guess what, you all? It's already been raining. We had a torrential downpour because of this storm that came in, and that storm brought hurricane force winds. So everybody in my area tonight is just really watching the weather because we have no idea what's going to happen or how it's going to go. But I will tell you that nobody in this part of the world, like the whole, like Northeast Tennessee, definitely Western North Carolina, Northwestern North Carolina, Southwest Virginia, nobody is not going to take the weather report seriously from now on because we know what can happen. We've been there, we've seen it, and we're still living it. So hopefully tonight the winds will be okay. We won't have much rain, and it'll be a lot less bad than what they have suspected that it will be. We're hoping for that. But it's one of those things where, you hope for the best, but you gear up for the worst kind of thing. So right after this live stream, I'm going to go back and I'm going to fill up some jugs with water because that's just how I'm going to roll now. I'm also going to set this box down because I'm going to knock it. So let me get over here and look and see who's in the chat. So hi and welcome. Hey, we have got, of course, Valerie was in. And we have Big Tom's van in. Hi, Big Tom. Welcome. Maureen Ruhl is here. So hi, Maureen. And let's see, everybody's saying hi. Good. Valerie's saying it rained here all day today also. Prayers that you'll make it through the storm tonight without any issues. Thank you. Because, and Valerie can tell you this because she saw it, we still have trees that are literally in some spots leaning on the power lines, and the power lines are what's keeping them from hitting the ground. So if we get much more wind, it's going to be coming tumbling down. And we have lots of trees that are just leaning against each other for support. And yeah, so it's going to be really interesting. We have this very large branch over on the side of the house. And these very large branches are sometimes referred to as widow makers because they're just looking for the right conditions to come crashing down. So we have that limb just up there. And I'm looking at it, I'm going, okay. So hopefully it's right between my house and the neighbors. So hopefully if it comes down, it won't cause damage to either house. So, and we did move the van. I will tell you, we did move it because if you have heard me talk about it or seen a photo or anything, then you know that last time part of a tree fell on my van and I looked at it and my heart just crumbled at that point. So we moved it. It is not near where it was. So yeah. So I'm wising up slowly. You know, Mama called me lots of things when I was young, but smart was never in that. Never. So slowly. But let me pull up, if you all can see, I thought I would share a couple of things with you, and then I'm going to get into more of the toy giveaway that you all helped with. So hopefully you can see this. Let me pull up, present, share screen. Is it going to share? Yes, it's going to share. Okay. I want to pull up, hopefully you all can see this, but this is actually the trees are on the ground at this angle, and this is my neighbor's workshop garage that he has in the back here. Wonderful neighbor. He's working on my van, like fabulous neighbor. But these are some of the trees that we have in the backyard. So you see the trees that are growing like they're supposed to, and then you see the trees that have slid down the hill. So what we're hoping for is that those trees will stay in place. And this next one, this is the hill. This is part of my backyard. See that nice little mowed part? And see, just a couple of weeks ago, that was standing trees, and the landlord had really cleaned up the hill there, and it looks so nice. And so now, since we've had more winds come around a week and a half ago, that's what it looks like. But hopefully we won't have any more down to join it. So that's our hope. So that's where we are. Hey, Valerie is here, and Tanya Lambert is here. So there you go. She's saying hi. Okay. Ooh, sounds unsafe. We have a lot of older trees here. Hopefully it'll be okay. Yeah, Tanya's saying firewood, absolutely. The only problem is it's not seasoned, because you want your firewood to be seasoned for several months to a year. And unfortunately, this isn't seasoned yet. But it's all over the place, and it's all free. So this is a great opportunity to collect firewood and store it up for next year. Just saying. So, all right. So I've got some clips I want to show you. I guess I will just kind of take this thing kind of in chronological order, if you will. And that is, I'm going to share. Big Tom's fan is saying, yes, Tanya, firewood, absolutely. You know, there's too much of it down. And what we have down is your hardwoods. You know, it's not so much your pine and your Bradford pear, although we do have some of that down, don't get me wrong. But most of what we have down is oak, maple, walnut, you know, your harder wood that burns better. So, yeah, Tanya says, yeah, that's true. So if anyone is desperate, it still does. Okay, yeah. And some people are having to do that. But, you know, right now, if you're in the situation where you can gather the wood, then you can harvest it for free because it's all over the ground, and then put it up for next year. But that also implies that you have, you know, a stable environment where you can store the wood, where you have tools, where you can cut it, where you have the knowledge, the know-how, the time. I mean, you think, oh, it was just laying there, you can go get it. Well, you can, but you have to have some place to store it. And so for a lot of our folks right now, it's getting better, but we're not there yet. So, yeah. Hey, Daniel Brown is in. Hi, Daniel. Welcome. Do click like and join us by subscribing. So, all right. So, let me just go back and kind of take this in a little bit of chronological order as far as the really fun things that we got to do in December, because we've had so much bad stuff. I want to look at the positive. Okay. So, first things first, Valerie came down and we had tons of cookies, you all. Tons and tons and tons of cookies. And these were so well received, let me tell you. So some of the places that the cookies went, and I'm just going to show some of the ones that I made here. But some of the places that the cookies went were FEMA, because they've had a really hard time. Those are some cinnamon cookies there. They haven't always felt welcome in some areas. Our area's been a little different to that. So we wanted to just say thank you. And we took in some cookies. These are almond cherry cookies that you see. And we just did a lot of them, like with the almond cookies and stuff. And here's a chocolate coffee biscotti. Let me see. Do I have Valerie in this?
Good morning.
Not yet. We'll see her in probably just a minute, I'm guessing. If not, you can go check out her channel, because I think she's got some footage up. Yeah, there's our supervisor. He was a little upset because he can't have human food. So no cookies for him, right? But he's done great overall. So we took, there she is. There's Val. There she is. So hi, Val. Oh, perfect timing on that with that wave. So, okay, so we took cookies to FEMA. I've actually got a video. These are some of the cookies that we packaged up. Valerie and I and a friend of mine, Ashley, we all got together and we bagged up these cookies so they could go places. And they went to FEMA. They went to the post office. I'm going to have to tell you all about the post office here in just a minute. It's crazy. And they went to line workers, everybody we could think of. So your police, your water department, your fire department, and so forth, they all got cookies. And these are some of the ones that they got. One of my favorites, white chocolate and peppermint. So lots of cookies, peanut butter. And there's another one with Val. She helped stock our blessing box. Yay! Which was a big deal because we're seeing more demand on the blessing box. So, yeah. So I have to tell you about this post office situation, you all, because there's just so much that goes into the flood situation that you don't think about. One of which is the mail. So, right before the storm hit, they found that our post office had a roof problem. So they decided that they would go ahead and move the mail from Mountain City, Tennessee, over to Trade, Tennessee. So this is not long before the hurricane comes in. This is like maybe a week, 10 days. So then Helene came in. And so what happened there is she actually cut the road. So part of Highway 421 that connects Mountain City, Tennessee to Trade, Tennessee just washed out. I mean, like it was gone. Like they were trying to put up telephone poles where there was no road to put the telephone poles, because where the road had been was gone. It just eroded. So they had already moved the mail from us to Trade, and then they had to reroute it from Trade to Elizabethton, which is about another hour going south of us. And then they finally got us set up in a mobile post office. So let me tell you all, I mean, it's a cute place. I do have to say that. But the mobile post office is an RV that has been outfitted to be a post office. So for several days there, we weren't getting mail because they were still trying to figure things out and the roads were down and stuff. But I've got to show you the post office. Here we go with the present button, because this just kind of sums up. It's one of those stories that just kind of sums up where we are. So ta-da! This was our post office. So after they got all the mail sorted to Elizabethton and they brought it up here, we had the mobile post office, but the mobile post office couldn't hold everything. So they were having to run back and forth into the other building for some things, and it was just crazy. So we decided to include our postal workers in the cookie delivery. I don't know about you all, but after all of that, I just kind of felt like they deserve some cookies. You know, it was amazing. So, and then when they did finally open up the roads, it was a little dicey. I've got some videos on that. But since Valerie was here, Valerie, you're going to be happy to know that US 421, which was very dicey when Valerie was here, even though it was open. It's a main thoroughfare. So it was open, but it was a little dicey. Y'all are going to have to check that video out. They finished paving it, and it now looks great. Still missing a guardrail in a few places. There's some spots where we definitely are counting the days to get that guardrail up. But it's open, which is huge. Huge. Oh, and Big Tom's fan says tacos too. Yeah. We actually had, one of the things that we had was a taco truck, and they somehow were able to network with World Kitchen. And if you're not familiar with World Kitchen is an organization that actually comes in and they help set up feeding programs in places like mine. And they just did a phenomenal job. It's World Central Kitchen. Can't say enough good about them. We had, I had one of the most amazing burgers that I think I've ever had. But nothing ever is simple here, and nothing ever goes as you expect it. And we were going, we were running in circles this particular day. And of course, we've got budget woes out the wazoo, because that's just what happens when you're in a place like this. And we're taking supplies over to the community of trade. There's a supply hub, and we were taking supplies there for distribution. It had taken us hours to get there. And unbeknownst to us, it was going to take us hours to get back home because the alternate route was blocked, and we had to find an alternate route even for the alternate route. So it was insane. But World Kitchen, this company had come and set up from outside of Louisiana, and they had burgers. And the burgers were delicious, but there was hot pepper ground up in the burger meat. And they also had spicy brown mustard. I love spicy brown mustard. So I'm like, okay, I'll get that. It's a real treat for me, and I'll put it on my burger. Yeah, that didn't go well. I was like the fire-breathing Gale, you know? And so the next day, we're running in circles again. And the next day, we hear about the taco truck set up. And they fortunately had networked with a local taco truck, so they could get paid while they were feeding people. My husband said, hey, let's go get some tacos from the taco truck. So I'm like, I remember what happened yesterday. You just go and do your own tacos. Enjoy. So, yeah. So, yeah, definitely tacos too. And that's my funny story about that. So, Yeah, I didn't want to try that again. But look, you all. Oh, hey, Pat and Chick, welcome, welcome. Yes, let me tell you how much we did on the cookies. Um, I got to looking, and I got the video coming out about that tomorrow. But I got to looking, and I got to counting up the bags that were left after we made the cookies and packaged them and sent them out the door. Would you believe over 2,000 cookies? 2,000 cookies, just over that. That's what we had. Our grand total was 2,058, but who's going to worry about 58, you know? So, yeah, 2,000 cookies is what Val and I cooked. We had one person that brought in a dozen or so cookies, which was really nice, you know. Thrilled to have the help. But yeah, and I'm still making cookies. If y'all want some, I've got some in my kitchen because what happened was, oh, and the fudge. And the fudge. I about forgot that. Thank you, Valerie. Thank you. Can't forget the fudge, which was delicious, I might add. My fudge is not that good. I made fudge twice. One chocolate, one peanut butter, and I will like never do chocolate again, ever, on the fudge. So, but I'm still baking cookies because what happened was we had we concentrated on getting these things done for the outreach, and did not have time yet to do like my regular Christmas baking for like my church members and gifts and stuff. So, since Christmas technically goes through Epiphany, I'm still baking. So, I've got like 280-ish something in the kitchen right now and sent out another 100 and something yesterday. So, yeah. And Val says she did peanut butter cookies and no bake cookies for the grandkids for Christmas. I bet they love those. I bet they love those. Yeah. Peanut butter cookies are one of the ones that I made to send out. We found the easiest peanut butter cookie recipe on the planet. It's 1 cup of peanut butter, 1 cup of sugar, and 1 egg. That's it. Mix them up in a hand mixer, 8 minutes, $3.50. Big Tom Span says, I just eat cookies. Well, see, if you were up here, you'd be in the right place. And that, because that's what my husband does. Well, I do let him line the cookie sheets. You know, put those sheets of parchment down. I do let him do that, but anything beyond that, we pretty much cut them off. It's just easier that way. So, yeah. So that's where we were with the cookies. Pet and Chick says, me too, I don't bake. Aw. That's all right, though. That's all right. So that's where we were with the cookies. Big Tom's fan says he is a taste tester. Hey, product control, quality control. That's what you guys are doing. Think of it like that. So while Val was here, we got to have more fun. Being with Val is fun anyway, but we were women on a mission, and we had to get some things done. And one of the things that we did after we did the cookies, we went shopping. We did, because we had the toy giveaway. And I was really kind of nervous about the toy giveaway because we were keeping it just kind of loose. And it was, if you need a toy, come and get a toy. No qualifications. I wasn't asking for ID or proof of people in the household or anything like that. So what we did was people came to the door and we asked, how many people are you picking up for? And we got like their name and phone number and stuff. And we gave them a piece of paper as they came in. They had to give that to me, and it said how many kids they were shopping for on the number. So that way, once they got in and saw all the toys, they couldn't suddenly remember that they had to pick up for their brother's cousin twice removed on their great aunt's sister's side, you know? So had to stick with that. But Valerie and I got to get together and buy some of the toys. And let me tell you, that was a blast. We went to Bristol, Tennessee, and you all, you donated funds, you donated toys, you all made this happen. So let me show you some of the pictures because I'm trying to get videos out, but I keep running out of time. I've got too much to do and not enough hours in the day because it's just like that's the way it is. So here's some of the toys that Val and I bought that you helped us buy. This actually was sent in by somebody actually who's not that far from here. She wanted to help and she sent in these toys. And we weren't sure like what to get for the older kids because like older kids are kind of older. But and this video isn't cooperative. There it is. There it is. So we got speakers for them, USB rechargeable Bluetooth speakers. They were such a hit. And we got some bath stuff. There we are. There's a picture of it. We got those. Family Dollar, you all, I've decided, and Valerie can back me up on this, this is like one of the best places to shop for Christmas. Let me tell you, Val and I, we found some deals. These little speakers were a whopping $8, but we also got some wireless earbuds, and those were like $5. And so the older kids just really, really, really loved them. We got some radio control cars. Somebody donated a DIY transistor radio kit to me. Let me tell you in a minute how that happened or what happened with that. But these are the toys that you all made possible. We had toys in this little church. We had them in the fellowship hall. We had them in the sanctuary, in the choir loft, in the kitchen. These are some of the photos that you see here. And we had all kinds of toys, which without you all would not have been possible. So I've got some shout outs listed down below and in the community tab. And one of the churches came and they bagged up some things for us. So those are like health products and things like that in these bags here. Because we still had, even though we are 3 months out, we still have people who are looking for basic supplies of like soap, towels, things like that. So we have these, what they call health kits. And in those health kits is a towel, a washcloth, soap, comb, things like that. And we have socks. Valerie took care of socks for us. Bombas, thank you so much. Because I tell you, we've already given out a bunch. Then I think 200, is that what you brought, Valerie? Or let me have earlier. And then you brought 100 this time. And those socks, we had about a dozen left. So yeah, and then there's our fellowship hall with y'all's help. So what happened was we opened the doors at 2:00. We had a long line. So we went ahead and made the decision to open just a few minutes early so people wouldn't be, standing out there. And 300 pairs altogether. Yep. Okay, that jives with my memory. So we had about 12 left. And we opened the doors a little early, a few minutes early at 2:00. And then by like 3:30, we were mostly cleaned out. And I was kind of panicking at that point. But we had also told people it's first come, first serve. And so everybody, I won't say everybody, but most people lined up and they were there at 2. So as our toys dwindled and I was kind of panicking about not having enough toys, it all worked out because, that helped too. And we had a couple of people who didn't speak great English, so I had to translate a little bit. And let me tell you, I only speak a few words. So that got interesting. But it all worked out. But there was one little hustler in the group. Everybody was really good not to take more toys than they were supposed to. And I was counting bags. I mean, I was the one that was going through bags saying, okay, you get 2 toys per child, and making sure that they had 2 toys. Because a few people would get like off count and they'd wind up with like 5 toys and they were supposed to have 6 or could have had 6. And, a couple of them, had more than their limit. But it was just when I pointed it out, they were like, oh gosh, and put it back. So I didn't get the sense that anybody was necessarily like trying to sneak extra things. But we have this one little hustler. And I don't know if this 8-year-old little boy is going to be a lawyer, a CEO, or a politician. But it's going to be one of those things. So he gets to me and we're checking out. And most of the parents did not bring their children. Because they were there to get items to go under the tree. So most of the kids were at home. But we did have Santa Claus there, just in case some of the parents had to bring their kids. So they could see Santa, tell them what they wanted, and kind of distract them a little bit so parents could go back and shop for toys. And this one little boy, he was adorable. I mean, absolutely adorable in his methodology. So he had picked out the transistor radio set, okay, or radio kit. And we put extra batteries in everything. Thank you, Big Tom's Van, for making sure we had batteries. Because we put extra batteries in everything, including this. And he had 2 other things. I think he had like a volcano set and something else. I don't remember. But anyway, he had 2 other things plus the radio. So he gets to me and I'm like, I'm sorry. Maybe you didn't realize it, but it's 2 toys, not 3. I'm sorry, you all. I get tickled just thinking about it. So he says, oh, but I've only got 2 toys. Yeah, I don't have 3. I just have 2. I'm like, okay, you got a brother? No. Sister? No. Okay. So I'm looking at three toys here. 1, 2, 3. And he looks at me and he says, oh no, the transistor radio isn't a toy. And I'm like, well, in a way that's true, but this counts as a toy. But I have to put it together. Well, yeah, that's kind of the point behind the transistor radio. And he was like, but it can't be a toy if you have to put it together, because that's not a toy. So we had this little give and take here, and I'm like, I'm sorry, but it really is going to count as a toy. And he finally put one of them back, but he was like, okay. And it's like you could tell he knew he was probably going to have to put one back, but his argument for why a DIY transistor radio kit was not a toy was brilliant. Okay. And, he covered everything from the fact that you had to put it together and it can't be a toy if you've got to put it together, right? And then it was like, oh no, it's a necessity because you have to have it, because you have to listen to the weather on it. And so this is one of the things, and it was going to make his life better, and it was needed. And so it couldn't be and he's just absolutely, the logic behind this kid was impeccable. And I was like, 2, you can pick 2. And so I don't remember now which one that he got that he put back, but he did keep the transistor radio. He did keep that. So yeah, we just did, Maureen. We just did the best we can, and really, honestly, that's all we can do in the world. If when we all get together and we do the best we can, then good happens. And you worked with the kids at the after school program, and they helped. And some people brought like one toy, some people brought a truckload, some people brought supplies. And it's huge, and it all helped. We could not have done this toy giveaway without you all. It would have been completely impossible. Like, this wouldn't have happened. Like, we started out with 300 toys that day. And what happened was we ended the day with around 6 toys, but I still had a couple of bucks. And so the next day, somebody called me with 2 very sad stories. And I'm like, knife, twist, and pour salt and lemon juice in it. I mean, it was bad. One was a foster mom who had kids brought to her on Christmas Eve. And I was like, if I don't have toys, I'm going to the store. and that's what I did, because she needed them. And Valerie, she took some of the socks, and instead of just dumping the socks on the kid and saying, here you go, here's socks, she said she was going to put them in a little gift box with paper and take the label off so she could actually give those to the kids as part of a Christmas present. So I let her have 3 pairs of socks each to do that with. So that was actually going to be part of their Christmas. And then there was another one about somebody who had just been picked up to go to prison, and nobody could find the toys that were allegedly bought for the kids. So with y'all's help, we were able to do that too. So the total of the kids helped through the toy giveaway, the total of the kids, okay, 181 kids. And so this is a really big deal because before Hurricane Helene came in, this county had a 22% poverty rate. Our median household income was a lot lower, and we have a 78% higher than the national average on poverty, bad housing, and you name it. So this was already economically depressed. With Hurricane Helene, it got worse. Or, as somebody told me once, when you have nothing and you lose everything, you have that much more nothing. And that kind of always stuck with me. So, since Hurricane Helene came in, we have lost one of the major employers here in the Mountain City, here in the county too. And there are people who relied on that company for their income. So like we have taco trucks who helped provide meals down there, so people could come out and get lunch on their breaks and stuff like that. So they're hurting. We had people who were without incomes because they couldn't physically get to their job because the roads were closed, or their house was gone, or so severely damaged that they couldn't work. They couldn't sometimes couldn't even take a shower to get ready for work if they'd been able to get out of their driveway. So, we have all of that going on, already chronic poverty, and in the middle of this, we did a toy giveaway. And that toy giveaway, it wasn't all about the toys. I can't even say that it was all about the kids, but a combination. And so what the toy giveaway did was it reminded the kids and the people in this county that we're not alone and that people cares. And that, I think, meant more than anything. And so, along with the toy giveaway, I'm going to cry. I don't want to cry. Along with the toy giveaway, we had turkeys. Okay. So we had 34 turkeys. I do have one left. So if you're in locally, if you're listening to this and you hear it, I have one frozen turkey left. So it's up for grabs. So 33 turkeys, an average family size of 5 for the ones that picked up the turkeys. And now I can't remember what that worked out to. So hold on a minute. I got to do some math here. 33 times 5 is not right. Oh, does anybody have a calculator? Okay. Oh, got it. 165. So you have 165 people. Not all of them had kids that were picking up. So 165 plus 181. Uh, 346 if I typed things in correctly. So 346 people is what we held with the toy and turkey giveaway. So pat yourselves on the back. And so we were trying to make sure somebody, Big Tom's fan, sent in some solar battery packs for cell phones. And we were trying to be very, very careful with these because if I had said, hey, we've got these solar cell phone packs so you can charge your cell phones, and if I just made that known to everybody, then suddenly everybody would need one. But we wanted to be very systematic about that and kind of keep it on the down low. So as I was checking people out, I was kind of talking to them, like, how are things going otherwise? I mean, you're here with toys, like, are you in a safe place and how are things and stuff like that? Because I had resource lists that I could give them and like phone numbers for legal aid and stuff like that and help them make referrals. So I asked this one person and she's like, well, part of my house is damaged. I've got everybody in one room. We're hanging blankets to try to keep the heat in. But she had this other family member who was living in her car. So on this person's property. So like on nights when it was really cold and snowy, she got to come in to her family member's house and stay warm as she could. But you think, okay, great. She can charge her cell phone. But then you find out that the car is a little rocky and the PowerPoint isn't working all the time. So we gave her one of the solar battery packs, and she was just like, these exist? And her mom was standing there, like tears. Like, I was like, so one thing you don't have to worry about is whether or not your daughter can get help now. And that was a really big moment. And we have the others. There's a real big push right now to get people out of the tents and into campers or some kind of housing. Valerie, when she was here, I think we had 6 households in tents. And now I think we're down to 3 and a camper coming in. But there are so many things with these campers. Some of the campers that are being donated, like, you get all excited because you hear somebody about getting a camper, right? So you picture this camper, or a lot of people picture the campers as being these really great temporary homes that are clean and everything works and they're this great place to live. But in reality, some of the campers have been sitting in somebody's backyard or side yards for a long time, and the campers need some TLC. So like one of the situations with one of the campers, like we got called about it because my husband knows a little bit about electricity and stuff, was the camper's inverter had gone bad and she couldn't light the pilot light. So she couldn't get, couldn't get heat to stay on in the camper because the inverter had gone bad, or maybe it was in the process of going bad. So my husband's like looking at it and he's like, he had the knowledge, he could have fixed it, but it had to be a licensed electrician to do it for the insurance. And the licensed electrician was like $1,200 to get them to do it. Whereas, it's like some people have the know-how, but you just can't touch it because insurance for them it is a big deal. So, you do the next best thing, and that is, does anybody have an electric blanket? So you start there, trying to get them warm until we could finally, somebody had funding for an electrician to go out there and take care of that. But it's things like that. At one point, I got contacted by a family who had mold growth in the camper that they were given. Another family had soft spots in the floor of the camper that they were given, and water stains on the walls. So you've got people who have obviously lost everything because they're now in a tent and they're excited about stepping up into a camper, and then you find out this is the camper situation. Now, not all the time. I mean, sometimes we do have some really nice campers that are donated, but more often they're not. So, and even in the ones where somebody says, oh yeah, it's a really nice camper, they're overstating sometimes how nice the camper is. So you have things like that. So it's just been really interesting. But even in all of that, just the way the community is pulled together and the way you all have helped the community to pull together has been huge. Literally, we could not have done this without you all. And I so appreciate it. So appreciate it. So a couple of things that are coming up is we are trying to put together, pray for this, I'm trying to put together a team of people. I don't care if it's 2, 3, 10, but somebody who can come in and help weatherize the campers. Because what we're seeing now is you have people in campers who have never been in campers before, and they don't know how to use the camper. And so you're having problems because they don't know to wrap the pipes in heat tape to keep the lines from freezing so they can use the water and so forth in the camper. Or they don't know how to wrap the skirtings or underpinning, I guess it is, around the camper to help make it warm again. I've got one lady who underneath her house, it's a mobile home, and the floodwaters, they had to go in and get all the gunk and debris out from under the home, and the floodwaters had damaged all the insulation underneath her house. So now she has a house with no insulation in the flooring. So it's things like that. So we're trying to put together a team that can come in and work on some things like that. So if anybody is hearing this at any point and you want to be on a team to come out here to help, let me know, because I will do everything I can to make that happen. So we're trying to do that. In the spring, we're looking at putting together some mission teams to come in and paint and mud walls and things like that to make the inside of the person's house pretty. Because if you can paint the inside of somebody's house, you can change their whole outlook. You can make their lives better with just a simple coat or two of paint. So we're looking at some teams for that. We have ongoing needs, like we've got houses that still have a tree on top of them. I think, Valerie, you saw one of those when we were coming back from trade, probably, because I thought they'd gotten the tree off and it's still there. So things like that. We have driveways still have to be rebuilt. We've got one lady who has had two of her neighbors' storage sheds / outbuildings got washed down, and they are in her driveway, and she can't go around them because the other part of her driveway is now eroded and marshy. And a company was letting her cut across their parking lot to get in and out through a gate that they had, and they can't do that anymore. So we have a 70-year-old woman with pneumonia that we're trying to figure out, and her family is very proactive. But we have teams in now that are trying to help with things. It's just with it being cold, unless they're weatherizing a camper, which apparently a lot of people don't know how to do. But unless they're doing that, they're kind of limited. Valerie asked, where would the team stay? And that's a good question. There are some churches that have opened up their fellowship halls, like First United Methodist Church, Mountain City, which is where we were with the cookies. They are opening up their fellowship hall, and we have an outdoor shower trailer, which obviously is difficult when it's in January, but when we're looking more toward spring to get paint teams in, then we'll be able to have more use of the shower trailer. It's just it's outdoor, separate from the building, but it's a trailer. So they can stay there. Trade United Methodist in Trade, same situation. There's two other churches that I know of. They're also opening up their fellowship halls under kind of the same situation. One church has a few showers, so I guess you could call that almost the Tajma Church of mission teams. And there are some mission teams who are opting to stay in a hotel over in Abingdon. And Abingdon, now that the road is open, is about 45 minutes from here. So that's another option that some of the teams are looking at. There's a Comfort Suites out there I've stayed in it. It's really pretty nice. So those are some of the options. Another team or someone I have talked to that's trying to put a team together for summer is looking at Airbnbs. So there's that. And, another possibility, if you camp, if you've got an RV, if you've got a van and you camp, there are campgrounds around here that, if you want to stay there, I don't know what the charges are for that. Obviously, there's a fee where the church fellowship halls are free. So, but those are options for teams to stay in that want to come. My husband's church First has already had 3 teams come in, but we need more. And those were disaster response teams. And I was really surprised. I had always done mission teams of mission trips of 5 to 7 days. But in the disaster response portion of a disaster, that immediate response, where you're doing your tree cutting and clearing driveways and stuff like that, those teams typically stay 3 days, which I thought was interesting. And so some of them are coming Friday through Sunday because that's when they can get off from work. So, we've had 3 of those teams come in, and we had a group from, and I may have told you all this before, we had a mission team that came in from the Bahamas. Yeah, the islands, the Bahamas. I am not kidding. which is a total like mindset shift for me, because I'm like, wait a minute, we go to the Bahamas and we've got a team from the Bahamas coming here, but it all worked out. I mean, they had a fabulous time, and we all greatly appreciated them being here. Um, but it snowed while they were here, and yeah, they'd never seen snow before, and they were all excited, to see snow for at least the first 10 minutes. Then they realized it's really cold here. So yeah, that was, but they didn't let that hold them back. They dived in, they did everything that needed to be done. So one of the things about any team that comes in, they just have to realize they have to be flexible. And that's really the biggest thing that we ask. Because we can work out where the team stays, we can work out about food and so forth like that. We'll help with that. I know teams are still going to bring food in, which is perfect. But we can help with a couple of meals. So we have that, and we can work everything out, but we ask for flexibility, kind of some leniency there. So if anybody hears this and wants to come, whether you hear it now or 2 or 3 years from now, talk to me. They are saying that this is going to be a 5-year recovery process for this area on average. And what I mean by on average is some people will recover faster, and some people it's just going to take longer. And so, yeah. So if you hear this and you want to come, contact me. My email address is down below, because one of the things that you're seeing, I got to show you this. Let me pull this up. I tell you, there are some things that just, it just hits you. Let me show you. Okay, so this is a bridge that you see, and it's going over the creek, except the waters came up out of the creek, across the parking lot, across the little side road in the parking lot, and knocked that bridge way on out of the way on off the foundation. It belongs many, many, many yards upstream, and yet that cross is still standing. Some things it's like, okay, God, I understand that you've got this, but I appreciate the reminder. So, just some things like that. Or, here's the road that Val and I were on the other day, and now you can actually drive on it. But this that you see right now is even better than what it was in the beginning. This is like miles away better than what it was. But you come across places where you see people's stuff piled up on the front of the road, and you have to remind yourself that somebody's entire life that has been cleaned out of their house and is now on the road. I'm trying to see if I can find one right quick. And of course I can't, but I'll keep looking. When I find it, I'll post it in the community tab. So there's like so much to do. But the big thing right now is to get everybody in some kind of warm living environment, which means getting some more campers in and getting them weatherized. And then it's like peeling the layers of the onion. So, yeah. So that's where we are. That's what you all have helped with. So, yay. And, handing out the toys, you could see the relief on some of the parents' faces where they came in and they were like, so overwhelmed about, you need food, you need toys. And it's like, we had that. It's like, here's a turkey. You can go down to the Methodist church in Mountain City. There's a 24/7 blessing box where you can get food. And, we can help with that. And here's your toys. So we had people that were literally sobbing, not just crying, but sobbing because we could help it. And that's what you all did. Yes. Big Tom's van said that's what they said in Georgia and Florida. So much piled by the road and nowhere to put it. Yep. That's one of the things that we've run into. And it's not just people's home stuff that's piled by the road. Sometimes it's storm debris from, trees being down or stuff that's washed up and things like that. And when I say stuff that's washed up, just to give you some perspective, the power of this water was insane. And you can look up online Poga Fire Department, Tennessee. That decimated the firehouse, okay? It just like washed it away. Like you could see it going downstream. Part of that is the tanker truck. The tanker truck was found a mile from the fire department in pieces. They found the chassis. They still have not found the tank for the tanker truck. So you have that kind of debris also going out to the side of the road. Also, this general storm debris junk, and you have people's belongings. And so at first, the National Guard came in and they were helping to get this stuff up. But then they're like, we completed our mission. It's time to go. And most of us are going, what? Because it seemed like they had just getting started. But they were able to turn it over to the county officials. And so in some cases, the stuff is still there by the side of the road. And here's one that I found the photos, so it'll kind of show you. And I'll tell you, and Valerie can probably tell you too, I can show you a million photos and I can show you miles of footage. That won't hit home. That won't hit home. So here's one where this is their belongings and they've had to have their house cleaned out and their belongings are now still waiting to be picked up. So, but they're getting there slowly, and, you have roads like this. This one was really interesting because earlier on, you can see how this is crumbled, okay, kind of in the middle there. So we're driving along and we have to stop right here because there's equipment, like you see this truck over here. There's some other equipment kind of like that we'd had to wait on. So I actually literally saw some of this crumbling while we were sitting there. That's when it gets real, people. Just saying. So, yeah, more of it crumbled off. But, and we had, National Guard out. We had Army out. All helping. But see, that's kind of gone. And there's still tons and tons of stuff that have to be done. And like some places, like the creek is now trying to reroute itself across the road. And so we have good Sams like this guy in the tractor who is trying to put the creek back where it's supposed to go. And so then you run into issues like, let's say you have this old deeded property and, hey, Peter Parker. Hi, Peter. Welcome. Let's say you have this old deed to the property and the deed says that your property ends in the center of the creek and that's where your neighbor starts. But what do you do if that creek is now 50 yards away? Is your property now, does that still end in the middle of the creek? Or do you have to try to figure out where the creek used to be and work from that? So there's like so many things. But anyway, that's not something that we get into, but that's just, kind of one of those. This whole thing has just been lots of little things to think about. Big Tom's fan says, are your groups in need of furniture? Actually, we're getting offers of furniture from around the country. And it's kind of like the campers. So you don't really know what you're getting into. The biggest need has been for beds and bed frames. So somebody came in and they brought in a bunch of bed frames. I forgot how much of the tractor trailer load, but it was a lot of bed frames. So I'll check on that. But I think because we've had so many people offer from around the country, I think we're mostly okay on that. Mostly. But I'll double check. And I can give you a report on that on the next live stream on Saturday. So, yeah. We still don't have our RV back yet. We're still working on that. I hope to have it back this coming week. We've got a bunch of money to have to pay on it, but it just finally got ready. And once we get the RV back, then I'm going to be doing some videos to hopefully help people have the information they need about, how to set it up if you move it. Why do you use chucks? How do you weatherize it? Some basic things like that to try to help people too. So we're going to be doing that. So, okay. So that's where we are. That's what you all have done. There we go. And I check the community tab and check down below. And I want you all to see the people who've helped. So check that out. Big Tom's fan says, I just have like tables and some shelves. Okay. I will ask, are you talking, when you say tables, are you talking like end tables or dining room tables? Kind of give me an idea there so I'll know what I'm asking about. There are a couple of groups also online where people are just saying, hey, I need this. Do you have it? And so there are some groups like that online, which have actually been really helpful. Facebook has been a great tool. Not everybody's been able to get on Facebook originally, but now we're to the point where, you can either get on it with your cell phone or go somewhere like the library. Several of the churches have opened up so people can use their Wi-Fi. And my husband's church and at least a couple of others, they just stuck the Wi-Fi password and taped it to the inside of the doors, inside of the blessing boxes. And they're like, hey, if you need to use our Wi-Fi, this is the password. And they just kind of keep going back and changing the password. So it's always rotating, but it's available. Kitchen and wood. Okay. Good deal. I will definitely ask specifically about that. Then we'll just have to see about getting it, and we can figure something out on that. We certainly can. So yeah. So that's basically where we are with what you all have done. And there's big things still to come with all the mission teams we're trying to put together and things like that. I can't believe it when they say it's going to be a 5-year recovery process, because like my mind just can't get around that. It's like, anyway. So yeah. Thank you. Everybody's just trying to do everything they can. That's kind of how the world goes around. You just help people and you do what good you can as you can. So yeah. So let me kind of switch gears here. I'm going to go really quick over the top videos that we've had for 2024. Several people have asked about this. I'm going to try to get a video done, but like I've got this long list of videos that I'm trying to get done. So just in case, let me just go ahead and toss these out. These are going to be in ascending order. And I'm just going to go through these kind of quickly. We have Bucky's Car Wash in through the car wash. This is like a football field plus long. And we're going through it. So of the 10 videos, that is number 10. How to install a roof rack on a Chevy Express. Let me see if I can pull this up again. There's got to be an easier way to do this, but I don't know. So how to install a roof rack on a Chevy Express. And this is just a multi-use 500-pound load that just clamps on. It took almost no time to install. And we got that up. So that's number 9. Number 8 is a water bottle dispenser. And that just goes onto the top of your water bottle. I use it right now in the van. It's USB rechargeable. And we just made this spot in the van cabinet where that sits. And I just run the tubing down. The video explains it all. It's a really great tool. So, yeah. And next up, we have, what is a solar charge controller? Super that I have for the van. Turn that off. Super important. So my husband actually explained that. He explained what West Virginia stands for when we're talking about electricity. So we've got that one. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Number 6 is a Cuppet washing machine. This is for the van that I've got. Washing machine and spin dryer. It's a washing machine and spin dryer. I just love it because it washes well and it's portable, and that's my favorite. The other one, number 5 is the rear view mirror phone holder. That's what that is. And so my husband helped me with it and showed us about getting it installed. Okay, so it goes in the hole, right? Able to use with this holder, I can use an older cell phone instead of going out and buying like a dash cam, because I'm super cheap like that, because the phone holder was like $10 and dash cams aren't. So that is coming in at number 5. And at number 4 is another washing machine. It is the Zenny portable washing machine. And it is tiny. You can do, I don't want to look at the ad, but anyway, it's tiny. I really can't say I like it as well as I like the other one. It does a great job washing clothes, though. It just does a terrible job spinning the water out. Just saying. So if you want something that's going to wash the clothes, you're in good shape. It just does not do a good job spinning them. Hey, Busy Lady is in. Hi, Busy. I sent you a message on Facebook. Maybe you got it. Maybe. If not, I'm sorry. Okay, so coming in at number 3, is the breast biopsy. The exact spot. Once I find it, do the breast biopsy aftercare. After I had my breast exam done, I recorded what I could. Obviously, this was during COVID, so I'm really surprised that it is still my number 3 highest ranked video for 2024. And then the next one is a smartwatch. It is the Narenza smartwatch unboxing and review. And I've got that. I was actually able to compare the O2 with on my watch with my little handheld O2 sensor and things like that. So, yeah, that's number 2. But, my number 1, 2020, yay, you got it back. Well, I'm glad. So, yay, I'm glad of that. So, all right. So, y'all ready to know what my number 1 is? I was so shocked. I've got to tell you. So shocked. How to cook meals on a mini griddle. Now we're going to do some cooking on. So this is when I did 7 meals on the mini griddle. That's what I use most of the time when I am in the van. I will say 90% of the time, easy 90% of the time. Sometimes, I've taken trips and that has been like all I've used. Occasionally, I will drag out the crock pot or another little small skillet that I have, but 90% of the time, it is right there. The mini crock pot. The mini griddle. And we did biscuits, sausage patties, pancakes, all kinds of things. My husband is still flabbergasted, though, about me actually doing a deconstructed cabbage roll on the mini griddle. Like, that just blew his mind. Yay, Busy loves hers. Good. What kind of things do you cook on yours? What do you like to cook on yours? So I've done the deconstructed tacos. I've also done some chicken lettuce wrap with a peanut satay sauce. And those have been like really good, which those also surprised my husband. So maybe it's just that he's surprised that I can actually cook. Maybe that's what it is. So it's all right. So that's my top videos for 2024. I am not going to guarantee that I'm going to get a video out about them, but I'm going to attempt that. It will be an attempt. But like I said, I've got a long list because with everything that's happened, I am like way behind. So, and let's see. Busy says, I wish I had one. LOL. I meant I like your vids on it. Okay. I have a waffle maker somewhere I need to pull out and try to use. Waffle makers are good. There's a lot you can do on a waffle maker too. Just saying. I like the griddle better, but I tried a lot of things on a waffle maker and like it is great. If you have that pre-cooked bacon, the waffle maker is actually really good for it because you can cook it and it's like it doesn't burn as easy and most of the grease drains off in the waffle maker. So, yep. So, all right. So I really appreciate you all and I appreciate everything you all have done and are doing. The giveaway, the toy giveaway was amazing. There is one thing I do want to go back and say because I see on my note and I forgot to mention it, but it is something that I definitely wanted to bring up. And that is one of the things that was given, which Sparkles by Monica, I hope you're still in here, gave a jewelry set of like quality tools, not necessarily a child's tools, because this was for a more older teen adult kind of situation. So going back to what I said earlier about losing our employers and people having been out of work and stuff, revisit that for a second. Because in with the toy giveaway, here comes this really nice jewelry set. I put a note in there and I was able to take Mom aside and I said, hey, this is like a beginning tool set. So if somebody wanted to take this set and watch some videos online or talk to me if she gets stuck or see Monica's videos, then it's a real good chance that she can make some pocket money, maybe even a career, who knows, but that she could take this gift and make herself some money on it. You could see, this is another time where like on the mom's face, you could see the relief. And she was like, that is a great idea because it's going to a teenage girl. And what do teenage girls always need? Money. Because there are prom gowns, there's makeup, there's keeping your hair nice. You know, there's all of that. And so she was really tickled that this teenager was going to be able to do that and possibly, make some extra money. So yeah, that's one of the things that I had wanted to mention and then got totally sidetracked about. There's just millions of stories out there, and you all have had a huge part, as you can tell, in making people's lives better, because it wasn't just toys, okay? And the extra batteries, and some of the batteries are going into flashlights. Somebody donated some sets of USB rechargeable walkie-talkies. So awesome. So Big Tom's fan says, thank you so much. I got to go now. Big Tom, thank you. Thank you for everything you've done. I'm actually about to sign off too. I want to thank you all so much for coming out, for all the support, and for being part of everything and being part of this live stream. You all go out, have a fabulous week. Be bodacious. Don't let life get in the way of living. Find a way around these obstacles, okay? Thank you all so much. Take care. I will see you on the next video. Bye.